Well, it's that time in the program for us to turn our attention over to the weather with Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Eric Hunt. Eric, we've had near summer-like conditions and winter-like conditions all throughout just this week alone. Will things be any more consistent throughout the next week?
Thanks, Alex. Maybe we'll just have 2 seasons this next week instead of all 4 like we had this last week. Starting off, I just want to point out that there is a workshop for anybody affected by fires in western Nebraska at the West Central Research Extension Education Center in North Platte on March 12th at 6:30. Please RSVP to the Logan McPherson County Extension Office if you're interested in attending. Fire danger will remain high through this weekend, particularly on Saturday across most of the state. It will be quite warm on Saturday everywhere, and on Sunday we're looking to be quite warm in eastern Nebraska. We might hit 80 to 85 in parts of southeastern Nebraska where the front passes through. Again, there's a little bit of uncertainty exactly when that front will pass, but I think it should clear the whole entire state by sunset on Sunday. Temperatures will be above average for most of next week, though. It'll be a bit more seasonal maybe than what we've seen in the last 2 weeks. And the pattern is getting a bit more active. We are expecting to see some precipitation across the state later next week. Now, again, there's some uncertainty as exactly how this next storm system is going to evolve. But there is some signal for precipitation, particularly maybe significant precipitation across eastern Nebraska as we move into the later portion of next week. And the CPC is also quite bullish on precipitation across a good portion of the state, particularly the eastern half of the state. CPC, again, is also showing warmer than average conditions continuing through the middle of March across the state with cooler temperatures possible, a little more possible in western Nebraska. Again, we did have some record warmth earlier in the week across southeastern Nebraska. These are some of the earliest 80-degree on records for, say, Lincoln and Omaha. And then we had some significant temperature drops between Monday afternoon and Tuesday afternoon. So again, we had almost 60, or actually at 60-degree temperature drops in parts of northeastern Nebraska between Monday afternoon and Tuesday afternoon. Very little precipitation to speak of across the last 7 days. Did have a little bit of snowfall across the parts of the Panhandle, a little bit north of O'Neill on Tuesday. Again, not much to speak of there. Speaking of snow water equivalent, the North Platte headwaters just a little bit below the long-term median, but again, not too far off, so nothing to be terribly alarmed about. Drought update, not much change from last week. About 25% of the state is still in drought. Soil moisture, though, is starting to go the wrong direction, particularly here in southeastern Nebraska, where we really have not had much moisture here in the last say, month or so. And again, if we take a look at 2-week root zone percentile changes, again, there's a lot of red and purple on here, which basically means that, you know, we've dropped quite a bit. Now, a lot of this is in the top part of the profile, which again is why we are quite concerned about having wildfires across the state, you know, the next couple of days, because we've really dropped off the top soil moisture, and you know, we have lots of dry fuel out there that could still burn pretty easily. So again, that rain that we hope to get in the state next week is going to be very critical for helping recharge the top part of that profile and letting some moisture back down into the rest of the system. Soil temperatures across the state right now, mostly mid-30s. Again, they dropped off a little bit from earlier this week, but still mostly above freezing, which is pretty good going to early March. And just wanted to point out that I helped host a conference this week called Harnessing the Heartland. Thanks, and back to you, Alex.